the first couple times you run it.
But that's always the case. That's always the case.
Look at all the detail in the sky.
That sky.
Oh, that sky. Yay.
Daisy of my heart.
All right. Before we start breaking down these preliminary patch notes, let's go to our phone lines and talk to Tobirama Taka? Tobirama?
Toby. Let's talk to Toby.
Tobirama. Tobirama? We'll go with that. Tobirama, what's happening?
So,
What's
I
happening?
called in a week before last, and this week I wanted to call about how the show's changed over the years. Like how you guys used to be super hype about the game, not super hype, but you guys used to be excited about the game.
Sure.
And it's interesting to rewatch all your series because you can see how you slowly got degraded over time.
Okay, so where did you start to notice? Like, where did it start to become noticeable for you then?
It was a little bit in 2.5-ish. And from like 3.2, I think, upwards, or 3.1-ish upwards, it's this huge decline. Like excitement for the game, like visible excitement.
I can see that. In fact, Juxta, you've gone back before and listened to the launch of Heavensward episode where we were like super excited and super hyped about everything.
We were in the honeymoon phase.
That's right. And about the time that you're describing, Toby, that's about sort of the point where we kind of started to maybe not completely accept, but kind of start to realize that are they giving us the same stuff that we got in 2.0?
Because we were hoping that was going to be okay, now's their time to reinvent themselves.
Yep,
3.0. Go. So at 3.0, we're like, oh, this was cool. Everything was really cool. But then 3.1, we're like, but it's
because that's literally what every MMO does.
Because Yoshi said that there's going to be like, it was like going to be like playing a brand new game or something along that lines of a
I
quote.
recall that.
Mm-hmm. And 3.2, that should have been where we were getting information about Diadem, but hadn't actually seen Diadem yet, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there were all these unknown factors where...
And it was exciting when things were unknown because they're unknown. You can speculate. We don't have unknown anymore. We have known.
That's exactly that's exactly the problem.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why there was less of a honeymoon phase, if any, with Stormblood, because we had that with Heavensward just because there was that hope that it could change it up. And then once Stormblood launches as the exact same thing, there's no hope. How do we hope?
Paint by numbers RPG.
It really is, because I mean, like once you start repeating, your main content over and over and over again, you never vary it up. And what you do vary up isn't received very well. And listen, I can't help how Diadem was received. It wasn't just me that thought it was garbage.
In fact, Nero, you tried to defend it.
I tried to defend it for so fucking long because it was
I remember, because it was like during the bet time and it was you and me streaming and I was saying how garbage it was and you're like, but
let's go do it. Yeah, let's at least go do it. And that's the thing. Dude, I defended Diadem far longer than I should have because I was like, well, at least this breaks...
It was different.
It was one of the only different things.
New.
Now, Palace of the Dead, a little bit better. That was, step in the right direction.
A lot better.
And a lot better received by the community.
Speaking of that, though,
so let's not do anything with it.
Have we had any announcement of when the next Deep Dungeon is going to be?
Nope.
No. I feel like we've heard literally nothing, right?
Nope.
Yes.
Only new piece of content that went over well, and we've heard nothing about it.
Yeah, because we can all speculate it's going to be that really tall brick tower that you can actually like walk up to and a guy says, sorry, you can't go in yet.
Fair enough.
That's probably going to be the Deep Dungeon, but I'm surprised that they haven't even given us like an estimated, like they haven't even mentioned it. It's like it fell off the face of the earth, and that's the one thing everyone's looking for.
Yeah,
the one thing that could save them.
I mean,
no,
I don't know about that.
Ruin it.
I don't know about that. But my point is that if your batting average on new content is 50%, like that really to me says that there's something wrong.
33%. Diadem was a miss. Diadem 2.0 was a miss.
Okay, fine, fair.
Deep Dungeon was a hit.
Fine.
What about Lords of Verminion?
Shut up.
God damn it.
Doesn't even count. But when you like, and that's not necessarily the fault of Square Enix. I'm not trying to necessarily fault anyone. But as a development company, how can you say, well, doing copy and paste style content that the majority of the community has openly vocalized that they're bored with, Like, I don't understand how you think that that's a good development strategy moving forward. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they've got to take more risks now than ever to be able to maintain the people that they've got. But if you look at some of these interviews and some of these statements, that seems to be the farthest thing from their mind. They're more interested in, and we've said this because we didn't even need a statement from Yoshi P. Just looking at the way that things are marketed and the way that content is added, we've been saying for a while that this game is made for new players. It's not made for people who have been paying the longest into the system. And I think that that's just another reason that we could see this go free to play.
I think a part of it about that is they don't want veteran players. Like, you 1.0 people, you guys are worth less than us 2.0 people because you pay less every month. They could give less shits about you than like the new players because we pay more.
Well, I'm pretty sure that
I haven't seen you guys talk about too much because like you guys get a $3 discount every month.
I mean, it's a $2 discount. It's down to 12 from 14.
But here's the other thing, though, Toby.
Please, you guys.
Going forward, even discounting 1.0, 2.0 people could be considered veterans, right? And another expansion, 3.0 people will be considered veterans. So at a certain point, even your new players become veterans. And if you don't have content that supports older players, that means that your game has a life cycle for each new person that comes in. Sure, they'll buy it, they'll play for a year, then they stop playing. Shouldn't you effectively want to grow your player base and keep them there and make them bigger and stronger instead of falling off at the end?
I have seen a couple comments about Yoshi P apparently saying they made this game to fit around its current player base, which I'm not sure if this is true or not, but if that's the plan, they technically are doing it decently because they haven't had a huge drop-off in a while. But if that's the plan, is to keep getting new players, cycle them in and out, they might not want to get bigger for some weird reason.
First of all, I think and this is just an opinion, this is not fact, but I think that that's Yoshi P and Square Enix playing damage control because that is totally counter to what I see every time I log into the game. And this whole don't trust your lying eyes bullshit doesn't really fly with me. Like I'm at the point where I feel like I can't trust what Square Enix says because anytime they come out and say something about player populations, it's like, oh well, we're rivaling WoW at peak. We're around 10 million, and it's just like, dude, what in what fucking world are you rivaling WoW at peak?
Yeah. Another thing is, they aren't. This game couldn't handle 1 million players on one server. Like, the game's just not how this game is structured. This can't. I don't think. Like, could you imagine 1 million people on your server? That would be hell.
No, I mean we can't even handle 40 people in one zone without it. People DCing at Ixion. So
back
1 million a server. Like, wow.
At the 2 month point when Stormblood was about 2 months old, just before they took away the 3 instances per zone, whenever it would zone into someplace, finishing up the MSQ because I was behind a lot of people, zoning into any zone, it would say, oh, which instance would you like? And there was never more than 30 people total between all 3 zones.
I mean,
yet 10 million people play this game?
Right.
No, I think what it is, I think between the number of people who have subscribed and the number of free players they have had, that their total may have hit 10 million. There's been 10 million copies sold plus free subscribers. But if you're going to try and compare it to WoW at its peak, that means that you're comparing your total number sold to concurrent players. But those are 2 completely separate statistics.
And the thing is that you only need to have context from WoW, not even at its peak. Even logging into WoW Now,
Right
like
now, yeah.
yesterday, I logged into WoW yesterday. We had a bit that we were going to try to do on FEC, but the Nazi stuff kind of overrode it. But but we had a bit that we were going to do on FEC, and I had put WoW on Juxta's computer, logged in, and went to one of these rape taverns that we talked about last week on Final Encountercast. There's more people at the rape taverns in WoW than there is, I think, maybe in the entirety of Sergeant Tannis. Okay, like no, I'm not. That's my point, though, is that anyone who has objective experience in WoW, playing WoW, even you don't even need to spend that much time playing it. You objectively know that there's a difference. You feel that there's a difference in player populations between the two games, and you look at something like that and you go, well, fucking, they're clearly lying. That's clearly bullshit. That's clearly bullshit, and that does absolutely nothing for the relationship between the development, the development company and their player base. So,
but it does make their investors a lot happier because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
But here's something else. No one should trust Yoshi P what he says. He's lied to us a million times.
I
remember
agree.
an old Mr. Happy video article about saying if they got 2 more developers, they could go back to 3 dungeons per patch.
oh my God, what horseshit.
At NA FanFest, they announced 2 more developers, and now we get 1 mess dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now
exactly.
we get add-ons in 2.0. Oh, I mean 3.0. Oh, I mean 4.0. Like, when the fuck are we gonna get add-ons?
Oh my God,
You know,
that's never gonna happen. But I mean, like, I remember, like Yoshi P was like, yeah, we're gonna consider jump potions, but maybe probably not till 5.0. 4.0, done.
Jump potions.
Done.
Yup.
Fucking yeah, they lie to us about this shit all the time, and so
Remember when Yoshi didn't lie? When he was like honest and like
or we
like,
thought
really-
at least
really
we thought he
honest?
was.
In 1.0. When he's like, "Oh yeah, this game is really bad, and
Yeah,
we failed you."
I do remember that.
and
Well,
we're gonna make
Yoshi
it better.
Yoshi wasn't one of the ones that failed us. He came in as like, I'm gonna
No,
fix
he
this
was
He said we failed you.
But he was the one. He was the
Talking
one
on
who made
behalf
that
of Square
statement.
Enix.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had already drummed Tanaka into the fucking window seat that he inhabited for the next 3 years. It was Yoshi P that had come out and apologized, and that was what that was one of those things that really made an impression on me early on. And I was like, man, I feel like I can.
Yeah,
I can
feel
at
like
least
we can
put
trust
I
again.
feel like I can at least
Think
put a
about
little
this,
bit of trust
though.
in him.
Think about this, though. How blind were we? We're like, yeah, I can trust a guy who's basically willing to admit that someone else fucked up. Hasn't admitted that he's fucked up yet,
no,
though,
he
has
said
he?
said
Good
that
point.
the current state of Final Fantasy XIV was a blemish on the main
The
stage.
entire- yeah, the entire-
franchise.
But that's what I'm saying.
But he wasn't responsible for
Yeah,
it.
he wasn't responsible for the blemish. He basically came in. We herald him as a savior because he wasn't Tanaka and he's going to fix it. That was a win-win situation for him. I mean, look, at the most, if a Realm Reborn would have, like, bombed out, would we have been like, boo, Yoshi, you fucked it up? No, we'd have been like, you know what, bro, you tried. You tried, but it was a hot mess and there's nothing you could have done about it. It's all right, man.
I mean, that is kind of true.
All he had to make was a game that didn't suck as much.
Yeah,
and he
would've-
did.
Yeah.
He made a game that didn't suck as much. Because think about it. Whenever we talk about what's great about this game, we talk about it in comparison to 1.0.
Yeah, I mean, we do draw that parallel a lot. I think that 1.0 probably if 2.0 had failed, 1.0 would have definitely overshadowed it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
it would have been known as a bigger failure. Mm-hmm. Because then I think you would have gotten Final Fantasy 14 overall as the failure, and they would have just talked about its launch. And there would have been a second part to it about the relaunch, and yeah,
Would have been a footnote.
it wouldn't. But he did. I mean, all credit to the guy. He made it into a good MMO, an MMO that people wanted to play, and that people still want to play. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not looking for reasons or excuses not to fucking play. I'm asking, like, dude, if I logged in right now, what the fuck would I be doing? Grinding tomes, you should be raiding, and you're fuck off. Like doing Omega, the normal Omega for my my bullshit. But like,
if we were playing every day though, right? Like if I was playing as much as Nika does, I think at this point have all of my creation gear, right? And
Which I have all my creation gear.
Okay, boom.
and
All
then
your
some.
creation gear and then some.
Yeah, like I
would
have a second job almost.
Yeah, I would have gotten all of the glamour that I needed from Omega. So being that I only play one job, I would effectively be done with the game.
Yeah, you would be. And I think that's what's been driving me nuts. And I've been repeating this on almost like every forum I've been posting on. But the fact is that like just because I mean, how many times I talk about variety, but when I look back at 11, and God knows I don't want this game to become 11. Everyone knows how much I shit on 11. I don't like 11. But what it did have right was that once you hit level cap, that's where the game began, not where it ended. And I feel like in this game, I tell people to enjoy the
point.
level grind, because when you hit level cap, all you're going to be doing is leveling something else. There's your content. And the thing is when I hit,
Great point.
and when you hit level cap in 11, you think, oh, I can go do, if I want to be really hardcore, I've got the Ground Kings. But that's really boring for a lot of people.
Yeah, a whole new
then
game
you could
opens up.
Right. And then you're like, okay, but I still like NM. So I can do Sky, I can do C, I can do ZNMs. Oh, but that's a lot of big scale content, but I still really like, stuff that a whole Link Shell can do. So then I've got Dynamis or Limbus or something along Harryar.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, but I maybe a little bit more casual. Okay, you can get Salvage or Assault or Nizal Isle. Like there was literally an end game for everyone. Like doesn't matter what kind of player you were, a casual player or a hardcore player, there was an end game for everyone.
Yeah.
And in this game, there's one type of end game. And if you don't like it, it's basically fuck you. Like, I don't hate the raids that we have. I think they're fun. But the thing is that's what I do Tuesday, Thursday. Where's my end game for Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Where is it? That's what I want to know.
That's, you know what? I don't think I could put it any better than that. Like, that's exactly what the problem is. But Square Enix keeps going like, no, that's not a problem. Like, no, that's what we want. That's good. This is good. That meme with the dog sitting in the kitchen when it's on fire, and he's going,
This is fine.
This is fine. This is fine. Yeah.
I really, really wish that there was some way to get Nika to play WoW at endgame, because it would ruin any love she has left for FF14.
It might,
and I want to do that. I want to ruin FF14 for her, and I know by playing WoW it would
Strife
do that.
has been trying to get me to play WoW forever, and I can't.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though, is that, like the core concepts from other games, when you see them executed so well, you're like, God damn, like that was clever and fun.
What's the problem?
How do games struggle with this so often? And then you figure, like, you look at Square Enix repeating the same goddamn mistakes over and over and over again, and then they keep telling you counter information. Oh, we're giving it more money. Oh, we just hired on new devs. Oh, we're it's gonna be like playing a whole new game. Fucking horse shit. Like, you got to prove it now. Like, you haven't proved it in 2 fucking expansions. It's just been, like a Realm Reborn with a new coat of paint and a quarter of it lopped out. That's depressing.
They chopped off the hood and go, look, a convertible.
I thought you were making a circumcision joke. That was rude.
Wow, that's where your head
Cut
went.
off the head and circumcision.
I know. I thought he was getting it wrong. I was about to criticize
I'm
him.
not Juxta.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's fair. Anyway, thanks for the call, Toby Rama. For the record, though, do you think that the show was better when we were far more optimistic and positive about the upcoming content, or do you think that we're being overly cynical, or do you just think that we're
Where we were.
yeah,
I think
like
it's fine how it is now. I think sometimes you get a bit over cynical, but it's whatever the fuck.
that's fair.
Fine.
That's fair. All right. I mean, as long as we're being honest, we appreciate the feedback. It's one of those things. It can be difficult to come out here and do a 3-hour show about a game that we feel like is making a ton of wrong decisions.
That's disappointing us.
The
Yeah.
general MMO podcast, do it. I have faith.
Oh my God.
We'd have to play another
Do
MMO.
Do you
for
know?
that to happen.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is that like I feel like if we were going to do a general MMO podcast, we would like have to task ourselves with like spreading out to different MMOs and then bringing it back to talk about MMOs in a very general way. That's the only good way to do that.
Who would even really listen to that show then? Because then
It'd be all over the place.
yeah,
Yeah.
like who wants to listen to like other MMO podcasts?
Well, that's
right?
and that's kind of the thing, is that like one of the things that helps people find Limit Break Radio is the fact that we are an FF14 podcast, and the way that podcasts are sought out are by category, like by topic, and there are so many podcasts about one game, whether it's Pokemon or Destiny or
Rick and Morty,
whatever it is. Like they're so specific that I'm not sure how anyone would find it, but we appreciate the encouragement, Toby.
All right. See you guys.
Cool. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
calling
See
in.
you later.
Appreciate it. If you want to call the show, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. It's okay. We can turn this into, just feedback about the